Good morning. This is Jack from Charting the Markets Crypto, and this is the pre-market webinar for the morning of Tuesday, the 9th of June. My disclaimer, I do this for educational purposes only. I'm here to share my technical analysis with you. I hope you can take some of what I'm doing and learn from it, transfer it to your own charts. I'm not here to shoot trading signals. This is a video for paying subscribers at ctmcrypto.substack.com. It's published on YouTube after a delay of 3 days. All right, great. Obviously, on all three of these, we've made the bull flag targets. Now, the question is, are we going to see a bounce from this fairly significant support level? We've only made a slightly lower low on Bitcoin so far. Haven't quite reached this rising support trend line, which in fairness, I don't think is particularly significant. So we will see how that goes. Oh, by the way, Doug, you know that you were looking at this possible head and shoulder setup, and I was telling you why it wasn't valid. You weren't alone. Peter Schiff came out with it the other day, but it's still not valid. And that's why I've not been looking at it. It's any setup. I mean, you could argue that this maybe would be the best head and shoulder setup, but the fact is, it's just too large. So that's why I've been ignoring it. All right. However, we do have a potential level bottom setup here, and while I'm not really expecting this to play out to target, I'm thinking we might see a decent bounce here. What would help along that decent bounce? A rally and then a low retest would be very nice to see. It would be a rare thing to see. Relatively, we don't see that many buy signals here. But that would be very nice to see if we could see it. On the daily chart, obviously, if we see a decent bounce, I'd be wondering about a test of the daily middle band. I've got that at 72.63, and we're currently at 62.626. On the hourly chart, we had buy signals. They made target. We haven't got any sell signals at the moment. We could be forming an inverted head and shoulders here. Not a great looking inverted head and shoulders here so far, but actually it's not awful either. This could be an IHS. I'm hoping this doesn't deliver, because if it does deliver, then I wouldn't get my low retest in all probability, or at least not for a while. Has the bear market finished? Chances are no. And I'm leaning towards going lower, not an awful lot lower necessarily. I'm wondering about this area here and about 49k area, whether this might be the bear market low, and it might be. But I am expecting to go at least somewhat lower. We shall see how it goes. I'll be doing a post, and I'll be working on what that might look like. But no, I don't think this is the low, and I think it's a bit too early for it. And really, if we were seeing this low in September, however, I'd be giving this some serious thought. All right, looking at Solana, been seeing a little bit of a rally as well. Again, we made the bear flag target. Again, we got a potential double bottom here. Again, if we sort of retest the low, we can set up some very nice looking buy signals. Again, we had a 60-minute buy signal, and that reached the target. We don't have any sell signal on at the moment. Could we be forming an inverted head and shoulders here? Hang on, just let me pull that out. Not really. Not really seeing a good setup for it. So this is kind of looking like a bear flag at the moment, which is making me optimistic about seeing a retest of the low. Looking at Ethereum, seeing a bit of a bounce here too. Again, that made the bear flag target. Again, a retest of the low could set up some very nice looking positive divergence and daily buy signals brewing. We had a 60-minute buy signal here that made target. No sell signal at the moment. Do we have a possible inverted head and shoulders forming here? And I think the answer again is no, or at least nothing particularly obvious. So let's have a quick look at that. Really very low quality, not of a quality I would normally be looking at. So again, this is kind of looking like a bear flag at the moment. All right, great. Let's have a quick look at questions. Yeah, Peter Schiff. He's not an analyst. He's not even an economist. So he hasn't got a lot of credibility, but it's the sort of thing you'd look at and think that kind of looks like a head and shoulders, and he's right. It does kind of look like a head and shoulders. It's just, under the circumstances, it's not a valid one. All right, great. All right, in that case, I think that's a wrap. Everyone take care, and I'll catch you guys tomorrow. All right, cheers.